think, Dave, if you hadn't have bought that suit, you'd still be, it's so difficult to say because it's a while ago, you'd still be in carpentry? Because there's moments in time where you think, I speak to a lot of people on the channel and they say to me, oh, we're trying to get people from different backgrounds. Today, would someone look at your background and think, oh, actually, I'll give that guy an opportunity, or a girl who's been a carpenter or a tradesperson in our industry? Because I just don't think that'd happen. Because you've also got a very interesting story about how you got a job, which I spoke about at lunch. So you've got to stand out in the market, haven't you? So how do you think you would have actually got into sales, or do you think we might have stayed in trade?
I don't suppose I've spent any time trying to figure it out, but it's a little bit like, there's always two views. There's always two routes that you can go. Had I have not picked up the call to you, I wouldn't be here. So there's loads of things that you can go, had I have not done that. The answer is I did. I guess you're right. I mean, I was probably, when I got into sales, I was probably really confident. I was really confident, especially when I went to work for a company called Sony. I was really, really confident. And I guess that was part of the negotiation. I knew it wasn't that I didn't have a job. I guess my confidence came with knowing I had a career. I had my carpentry and joinery that I could fall back on. That gave me a confidence. But fast forward, if I look at the employees that work for us, I genuinely don't believe I've ever interviewed somebody that said, I'm going to be useless. When can I start working for you? I don't think that's ever happened. I try to have a look at, and all the team that do exactly the same, we try to look at how, are they moldable? Can they absorb stuff? If we're going to train them, can they absorb what we're going to train? I don't mind whether they're in the army or they're in any other industry. It makes no difference. It's just about how can we take them on a journey, and can they be trained? Because somebody that says, I'm untrainable, you go, well, not a lot we can do, regardless of being the best salesperson at all. So we look at how we can actually take you on a journey as well.
Do you actually look at CVs? Because when we spoke at lunch, you said about your experience with a CV, which I'd like you to share with the listeners because I think it's great. But do you actually look at CVs, or do you actually just go on the character of the person when you meet them?
I guess a little bit of both. A little bit, and to your story that you're trying to extract out of me. And this goes back to when I went to work for Sony back in the day. So I'll tell the story and I remember there was an advert out there that basically said I need to send a CV in to this particular guy, and I looked at it and I thought I was quite confident in what I was doing. So I thought, I'm not going to send a CV. I'm going to ring the person.
Which we hadn't heard of now. No one rings anyone now. They just send CVs.
Well, I definitely rang this, and I rang this person, and I was so confident in on my own ability. I actually phoned the person and said, "Hi, I'm ringing up regarding the account management role that you've got. I'm the right person for that role, and they said to me, we need to send the CV in. I said, I understand I need to send the CV in. I said, but my view is, if I cannot convince you to interview me on the phone, then actually I'm the wrong person for you to employ, regardless of what my CV says. So that was it. So uber confident, in my approach. So he said, well, that's fine, but because we're such a large organisation, we need to go through a process, and you need to send your CV in. So I then turned around and said, okay, what do you want me to put on my CV? So he said, well, what do you mean? I said, well, what do you want me to? I said, I'm telling you now, I'm the right person. I think we should be doing something. What would you like me to put on the CV? He said, you need your CV to stand out. So I sent it on a luminous orange paper. It stood out. It stood out. And lucky enough, I got an interview and I got the job. It kind of worked really, really well. I enjoyed my time there. I enjoyed, I accelerated through from account management to running the sales team within a really short space of time, and actually we grew the business really quick as well.
How would you deal with someone doing that approach to you now? Obviously, times have changed, I know that, but would you be open to someone calling you? I'm not obviously giving you mobile that, Dave, either, but would you be open to someone calling you and saying, actually, I think I'm right for the job. I've seen your job advert, Dave. I think I'm right for the job. I want an interview.
John, I think it's a really good approach, and I don't think people should shy away. I'm conscious I'm saying this now on something that will go viral. Dave gets loads of calls. I think people need to be confident in what they're looking to do, and that's not saying you need to be overconfident. It's not saying that you need to come from our industry or anything else, but it is about if you're looking to take somebody on, you want them not to be frightened of a phone. You want them to be able to pick up a call, not sit there and go, I'm waiting for the customer to ring me. Yeah, so I've got my pen ready, I've got my paper ready, but I'm not going to phone out a customer. So, I'm not saying no. I mean, generally, if you'll ring me, I'll probably pass you over to our HR team and they can deal with it. But I think that to me just shows that people are comfortable in what they're doing.
Dave, we spoke at lunch and you mentioned that you try to meet all your employees. You actually said to me, you say, firstly, thank you for joining. And you also mentioned around getting early careers and maybe apprentices in. Why do you think that's so important for Daisy, and why do you think it's so important for, let's say, the UK in general?
Well, I think the thank you goes back to when I left school and I kept on getting sacked. So on that basis, and I am really conscious that these people are putting their career. We're probably the first place that they're going to start their careers. The best that we can do to set them up for the future is to give them the greatest experience, whether they stay with us for a long term or not, but we give them a great experience to help the economy grow, to help the UK grow. And that to me is really, really important. So I think it's absolutely imperative that I thank them for allowing us that ability to support them and to help them grow. So there's a video that goes out, and then actually when I go around the offices, I meet all the new people all together and then just sit down one-on-one. They've all got my telephone numbers. I send every one of them individually an email just with something about them and just to thank them. And actually, if they need anything, I'm here. Bearing in mind, we've got 900 people. I truly believe that it's about how do we look after our people. And I think it goes back to, remember, a mentor many, many years ago said to me that, you're better off with 1% of 100 people than 100% of yourself. Because you can always move that 1% to 2% to 3%, but 100% of yourself you can't move. So on that basis, it's about how do we get the best out of people? And I truly, truly believe that no one wants to do a bad day's work. And what we need to do is work out, how do we incentivize you? How do we motivate you? How do we? There's a quote that's attributed to Albert Einstein. Don't judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree. I kind of like that because that's basically climbing a tree is absolutely useless. Put it in water is superb. And for me, it's about how do we? Somebody might not be that brilliant in sales. Guess what? I've got some project management roles. I've got some customer service roles. I've got other roles within our business. Why don't we help you find your roles? Throughout the pandemic, the government brought out the government Kickstart, which is kind of frustrating because I don't know if any of the anyone's tried to go through that process was really hard at the very beginning. I remember saying to the team, the HR team at the time, right, I want to take on some Kickstarts because these are people in our local communities that we can help support. I said, let me explain what I mean by take these Kickstarts on. I said, we've got, at the time we had 500 people that work for us as an organisation. I said, these Kickstart are over and above. These are not replace our normal people with Kickstart people. So Kickstart is a 6-month program. You take people that are probably on universal credits or something like that. You bring them into a work environment. And at the end of 6 months, they can go out and try to find another job. Or if you can create a job for them, then actually, brilliant, you've created a job. So the first part was whatever we do, let's support people through that journey. The second part is if we've got a job for them, brilliant. If we haven't, it's not a problem at all. We've now got some of them that went through that are now on an apprenticeship scheme that we've got for them. So actually they've gone through that journey. They're now on the next phase of that journey into the apprenticeships. And that to me is so important about how do we drive the right behaviours.
Dave, how are you so passionate about this subject? Because is it because you've had such a bad experience of this carpentry and getting sacked? Because not everyone I spoke to on the podcast would be that passionate about making a specific difference around people, but it seems you generally are. So why is it so passionate about that subject?
Yeah, do you know what? There is no one trigger. I don't know whether it's because I've got children, that maybe that's the part, and I want them to be treated right. I don't know whether it's, do you know what? They're the ones that need to be working to pay for our pensions as we get older. It could be a multitude of different things, but actually, for me, it is about making sure, getting as many people into work as we possibly can to create employment. And that is so important, especially in today's day and age. How do we just get people, working and contributing to the economy?